You've got a long-standing friendship with the vice president. I just thought while you're over here, just some of your thoughts about some of the things that she's been involved with in the last few days.
That is NBA basketball superstar Steph Curry, and his answer to that question is today's breaking story. Kamala Harris has had a very historic week with both the general public.
Oh, by the way, 58,000 new volunteers with donors opening their wallets.
And celebrities. And now we have a top 5 athlete getting a very non-basketball and non-Olympic question at the Paris Olympics. So was his answer a slam dunk or a turnover? I'll have that for you in just a minute. First, let's look at the big scores for Team Harris among the Hollywood elite, and who better to assist with that than Entertainment Tonight.
Beyoncé has given Kamala permission to use her song Freedom on the campaign trail. Freedom, freedom, Kamala used the track today at a rally in Milwaukee. Beyoncé reportedly gave her approval just hours before this appearance yesterday. And while Beyoncé hasn't officially endorsed Kamala, her mom did. Tina Knowles posted this pic with a candidate on Sunday. Also Team Kamala, George Clooney.
The responsibilities of us as individuals to stick your neck out every once in a while.
George Clooney was pivotal in getting to the point where Biden decided to drop out, because Clooney was speaking for so many in Hollywood, both donors and stalwart Democratic supporters who had decided Biden had to go.
And this is interesting. Kamala's campaign raised $81 million in its first 24 hours. And don't count out the Swifties. A lot of them are ready to pounce after this clip of GOP vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance resurfaced.
We're effectively run in this country by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives. And it's just a basic fact. You look at Kamala Harris.
One Taylor fan fired back, "Hell hath no fury like a certain childless cat lady who has yet to endorse a presidential candidate."
And now let's shift gears from the Hollywood elite to the entertainment-adjacent NBA elite. It should be noted that Steph Curry is not the only NBA talent with a hot take on presidential affairs. His very accomplished coach and underrated thought leader, Steve Kerr, has shared his criticism and wisdom when asked.
I think all of us in our team have a tough time with the president because it's instead of unifying and trying to calm the storm, he's creating it over and over again. We see it with his tweets every day. So that was, he used the word sons of to talk about NFL players who have made it clear they're protesting racial inequality and police brutality. Those are sons of really? You're the president of the United States, you're going to call them sons of That one really stung because it was so divisive and it was so angry and it just didn't make sense.
But it was definitely a ploy.
Yeah, but think about it. I mean, you're right. It was diabolically clever, but is that the president's job to be diabolically clever and divide,
No, I understand.
And here's the moment you've been waiting for. A reporter at the Paris Olympics saw an open Steph Curry and dished him the Kamala Harris rock, and here's how he handled it.
Yeah, very interesting time for our country for sure, and the fact that President Biden gave that endorsement and Vice President Harris is primed to bring her energy to this campaign and hopefully if she's on the ticket winning the election, like it's a big deal to say the least. And she represents the Bay Area. She's been a big supporter of us, and so I want to give that energy right back to her. And just excited knowing, obviously, we're representing our country here, and this is a very monumental next couple months for our country and the direction that we're headed. So hopefully this is a great way to do our part to continue unifying the country with how we, sports brings a lot of people together. And for her in this moment, knowing what's ahead, like we're just all about positive energy and optimism, knowing how divided our country is right now. So just excited for the journey ahead for her.
Well played, Steph. Well played. Despite what Charles Barkley said,
I am not a role model.
Athletes in this country are literally worshipped, and at times we need some of them to be humble, thoughtful, and lead the way when society needs a little help course correcting. And before you bounce, I'm anxious to hear what you think. First, do you think it's proper for reporters to ask political questions at the Olympics? And aside from the surprise nature of the question, what did you think of Steph's answer? And do you think more celebrities and athletes should speak up and out? I look forward to reading your comments, and while you're typing, please have a listen to more of Steve Kerr's wisdom with this instant classic that was recorded after Trump responded to his first remarks with one of his juvenile insults.
I know what your reaction was, if any, to what the guy in the White House said yesterday.
Well, Raymond and I were just talking about it, and if we'd been thinking earlier I was going to ride in on a tricycle with one of those beanies with the propeller on it, and just because he called me a little boy, so maybe just ride in and see if you guys got the joke, but we didn't think of it earlier enough. It was really surprising, but mainly just because it was me, you know, and then you stop and you think, well, this is just every day, this is just another day. So I was the shiny object yesterday. There was another one today. There'll be a new one tomorrow, and the circus will go on. So it's just strange, but it happened. I did think about last night. I was thinking about my various visits to the White House. I've lived a privileged life and met, I think, the past 5 presidents prior to President Trump. First one was in 1984, and Ronald Reagan was president, and he invited my mom and me 6 months after my dad was killed in a terrorist attack, and President Reagan and Vice President Bush invited us into the Oval Office and spent about half an hour with us, thanking us for my dad's service. He was in education, thanking us for my dad's commitment to trying to share American values in the Middle East, trying to promote peace in the Middle East. And all I could think of last night was the contrast of what has happened in 35 years. And there was no regard for whose side you were on politically, political party, anything like that. It was just you were an American, and the office held such dignity and respect, both from the people who were visiting and especially from the people who sat inside it. And it's just sad that it's come crashing down.